Hello everyone, this is James Shore with another test-driven development video. I'm recording this on April 4th, 2012, picking up where we left off in the last episode. Before we begin, I want to remind you about the Art of Agile Bootcamp that we've got coming up. It's just 2 weeks away now, the last week of April, April 23rd to the 27th. This is really a great course. I'm doing it with Diana Larson, and we're covering the breadth and depth of Agile development. And I guarantee that you will discover new things in this course. It's really a great course where we're doing test-driven development, of course, but we're also doing evolutionary design, refactoring, how you communicate with stakeholders, how you do iteration planning, how you do release planning, something that people think is impossible in Agile, which is how do you predict when things are going to be done. It is possible, and there's some caveats, there's some things to think about, and we'll be talking about all of those things too. So I really love this course, and that's why I keep pitching it so hard to you. I hope you can come. This is the last week of April in New York City, artofagilnyc.com. All right, so when we left off in the last video, we were looking at refactoring our code. We finally had gotten our exception handler completely tested, and I'm really happy about that. It was tempting to just let it go, but we powered through with a bit of help from our friends and got it in. So let's see. The problem is this save as dialog should handle save exceptions gracefully method is it's a little big. It's a little complicated. I want to make it better. So how can we do that? Well, one way, so we've got this warning dialog. So one way is every time you see a paragraph of code, typically a paragraph of code is something that you want to set out by line breaks and also put a comment on. It's one easy way to make code a little cleaner is to turn those paragraphs into methods. So that's an obvious place to go. The challenge is that if you do that a little too soon, you might see you might miss bigger refactorings that are useful. So one option would be to make each of these a method. Another option would be to make this a method, which is, basically say force exception or cause exception. However, the invoke later ties pretty clearly to this, so I want to be careful about that. Let's see. We're doing something similar, a bit complicated here. On this one, we're just saying that the dialog needs to be visible. I do tend to be a little less aggressive about factoring out methods in my test because when you're reading a test, you really want it to read clearly. So I'm not sure I want to factor this out because it does, well, Let's go ahead and try turning these into methods. So we'll factor this out, and this will be, it's not liking that for some reason. Probably because this is a class. Let's try factoring it out manually. We'll call that a little torn on this. What I'm thinking about is whether or not we want to do these things together. Yeah, let's do that. Let's say cause save exception, and we'll pass in the IO exception because that's relevant later on. And then this we can factor out into its own method, which we'll call cause save exception. which will take an exception. Okay. That should still work. No, it's not. What is, I've got a compile error. Oh, this needs to be final. Classic problem, and now it's still unhappy. Why is that unhappy? We'll have to make that an IO exception, I think, just to not get the compile error. Yeah, there we go. Interesting. There's that race condition again. I mentioned this in the last episode where we were seeing what seemed like a spurious error. I wonder if that's something that we need to invoke and wait. Sorry about this detour. We're getting classic race condition results from our tests, and because I might not be able to reproduce it, I want to just quickly put this code in while it's top of mind. I'm just going to put a note in here to explain what's going on. And the error was intermittent test failure where frame was not being disposed. Okay, problem is if this test now passes, that doesn't really tell us anything about whether or not it fixed the race condition. I could try running it again and again, but yeah. No, it did not fix it. Okay. So we tried invoke and wait, did not work. So I'm going to take it out because you don't want to leave in dead code that doesn't matter. Okay. Wow, that's starting to come up quite frequently. Interesting. Interesting. This may be an issue where I need to run all of the swing tests on the event handler thread. That's not something I'm doing, and it's really something I should be doing. but we'll come back to that because we are right in the middle of something else. So we were saying that we're going to cause a save exception, which we do. Then we're going to assert that the warning dialog should be visible. And then we'll do the assertions. You know, I think just doing that cause save exception in its own private method cleans things up pretty nicely here. Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about was this assert eventually true is a bit confusing. Rather than saying assert eventually true, maybe I want to call it wait for. And that way I can put the assertions after the, rather than having some assertions in here and some assertions down here, which is a little bit confusing, instead I can have them all in a row. Let's try that. I'm actually going to copy assert eventually true and do it that way. And then if it works, I'll take out the assert eventually true. We'll need to rename asynchronous assertion. Okay, so for wait for, we're going to have a message, yes, a timeout, and then the check. Now, I seem to remember somebody made a suggestion about a better way of doing the asynchronous assertion, but I don't think I wrote it down. So I guess, and I don't think I could find it easily, so I guess I'll just try this myself and see what can happen. Whoever you were, if you're watching this video, go ahead and leave a message in the comments and I'll try to get to it. Unfortunately, I'm recording a whole bunch of episodes today, so I won't see it for a while. Okay, so we're going to say, rather than just, it really is the exact same code, isn't it? Yeah, let's just try, as a bit of an experiment, let's just try renaming this. Rather than doing an assertion, we'll just say rename. And this will rename to wait for check. And this will rename to wait condition fulfilled. And this is generic enough. I actually kind of wonder if there's existing code to do this. But I'll let all of you watching, my virtual pair partners, tell me on that. Because I feel like I'm on a roll here and I don't want to stop and look it up. And the code's pretty simple, so not a strong need to. And then whatever you guys do tell me, I'll write it down this time so we can fix it next time we're back in this code. Okay, so there we go. We've got the wait for. Now we just need to get that integrated in. So we say wait for warning dialog. And that says wait for warning dialog. Yeah, that should be good. Warning dialog within 1,000 milliseconds. And then here we'll say it's, yeah, we're inverting it. Okay, well, this was kind of a weird little episode, but that is all the time we have. So I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.